BET's Centric is pulling out the red carpets and all the stops for their Season 3 premiere of Being, featuring Faith Evans. It's movie night here in Hollywood, California, but instead of walking in on red carpets, imagine yourself sitting in a graveyard, allowing the spirits of Tinseltown to surround you. Behind me is Yorba Regional Animal Hospital, and as of late, it has been the home to wounded Anaheim police dog Bruno. With the labor industry still on the rocks, hundreds of creatives flock to Los Angeles from around the world to find their spot on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. California State University Northridge participates in the statewide event Shakeout, geared towards informing the public on the necessity of earthquake preparedness. It is through these doors where the latest reports have erupted of a new peeping Tom. Standups' summer season will be coming to an end this Saturday, where they'll be showcasing the season finale of Breaking Bad. But don't fret, they'll be back sooner than you know it. Well, that's the latest in Anaheim. This is Chernéy Amhara.
Okay, the ground has just started shaking violently. What do you do? Cover!
Drop and cover was the theme on the Sierra Quad of the California State University Northridge in response to the statewide earthquake shakeout.
Okay, 30 seconds of shaking. We still have 30 seconds more of shaking.
In light of a recent LA Times article about building safety during earthquake disasters, professors and students from the geology department organized demonstrations and activities to alert awareness to the project's events.
I was asked to sort of initiate the medical tent for this shakeout, which is the Great California Shakeout. So we kind of came up, we came up with some ideas on some of our group member to come up with the best way of communicating what people need to know.
Basically, my injuries, I'm the example of a person that runs, that does what you're not supposed to do. So instead of just, if you're sleeping, if you're in an area like in your room where there's stuff that's secure, you should just stay in your bed or something. So my foot's injured because I didn't put on shoes and I got out of bed and tried to run, so I stepped on glass and stuff. And by the ground shaking and me running, I fell and hit my head. And then I didn't secure my furniture properly, so my armoire, or I guess our armoire is heavier, so then a bookshelf fell on me and I protected with my arm, and that, I guess, snapped my arm.
Along with these student-led simulations, crowd members were able to participate in activities, allowing them to see firsthand what can happen in an earthquake. Professor of Tectonics Dr. Doug Yule says it's vital for CSUN students to know about earthquake preparedness because the city of Northridge is more prone to them.
It's hard to get away from an earthquake source in Southern California. There are over 100 possible earthquake sources. The one closest to campus is the Northridge Hills fault, which is where the city and the university gets its name.
Although the day had many activities, one rule reigned clear: drop, cover, and hold on. From Northridge, this is Chernéy Amhara, Valley View News. The Sterling scandal is getting a mixed reaction at CSUN. In one part, it hits home for the athletic department, as the sport of basketball is held close to their hearts. But others are saying it brings about questions to our First Amendment rights.
The words were racist, I give him that. But I feel like they're only words, you know. He didn't really act on anything to really show his racism. But, you know, I was offended by what he said, but at the end of the day, they're just words.
You know, whether or not it's an infringement on Mr. Sterling's First Amendment rights to free speech is something that that has to be discussed and thought about, but I think that there should be, you know, that shouldn't be the reason he gets away with it.
I think at this point, instead of pointing blame, whether it's media or the NBA or anybody else, it should be how do we move forward together as a society and try to ensure that the next round of owners or the next generation don't share those kind of thoughts.
While the fate of the Clippers ownership is still in the air, it seems fans and athletes are united in support of the players. Well, that's all for the reaction. Back to you in the studio. A Northern California man will spend the next 22 years in prison after keeping a female relative as a slave. Prosecutors say Raul Ochoa kept the victim in his backyard and he repeatedly raped her over a 15-year period. County Deputy District Attorney Ryan Wagner said Ochoa pleaded guilty to 1 count of a lewd act and 2 counts of rape. Ochoa will be eligible for parole after serving 85% of his sentence. He will also be required to register as a sex offender.